Community Viewpoint.
And welcome to another edition of Community Viewpoint. I'm John Pawlak, your host for this segment. And if you're watching this when we first broadcast this on Saturday, October 1st at 4 p.m., then you'll know that we have one more day left for the remote area medical event that's being held at the Community Nye Communities Coalition. So that will happen still on Sunday morning, and if you are in need of optical glasses, some medical help, and you want to get that help for free, please stop by early in the morning. What we had was Thursday night, people started coming in for the Friday morning event at around 10 o'clock in the evening to get a good line, a good place in line. So we've had hundreds of people prior to this broadcast, so if you haven't taken advantage of the remote area medical event, please do so now. Did you show that there's some of the equipment we had at the NAC building, as we call it, the large building at the Nye Communities Coalition, and the lovely people, the volunteers that come up, they're based out of Tennessee. And they set up in a day, and there's some of the equipment. They run on volunteers and donations, so this is a really worthwhile event. So if you have the chance and you need eyeglasses, you need some medical assistance, please stop by early Sunday morning. I'll be working a night shift, so you don't have to come too early, I don't think. But so we'll see you there. Hopefully, you'll see me running around in a T-shirt like this from the remote area medical event. So that's that. Go. So, now I should say, for something entirely different, yes, that was a roundabout, and that is not the way you access the roundabouts. Our time is up, folks. They're going to start construction this coming week on 372. You've seen the signs. So if you haven't practiced, I suggest you start practicing soon. Over at the Calvada Eye, there's a very amateurish one. It's this very small roundabout if you want to take a chance and going around in a circle and trying to get out into there is no traffic there usually. Or you can go to Blag and Basin in the southeast corner. There is a leading into the little project there, the homes over there. There's a little smaller, more defined roundabout, so you can practice over there. Don't tell the people that live there I told you to do that, though. But they're not necessarily easy to understand if you've never used one. So what I've done today, I'm going to give you a primer on how to transverse or ride through, hopefully safely, through a roundabout. So let's play the tape on how to properly use a roundabout.
In a traffic circle, some common mistakes when turning 1/4 of the way around are entering into the circle and not yielding to traffic in the circle, making a right turn from the left or inside lane, exiting the circle and not yielding to pedestrians at crosswalks. For a 1/4 of the way around, the correct approach is to enter from the right or outside lane. Signal right, yield to pedestrians and traffic in the circle, proceed when safe, and exit in the right lane. A common mistake by drivers traveling halfway around is changing lanes in the traffic circle. When you enter from the left or inside lane, do not change lanes in the traffic circle and exit from the right or outside lane. This may result in cutting other vehicles off or causing a collision. To drive halfway around a traffic circle, the correct approach is to enter from the left or inside lane. Signal left, yield to pedestrians and traffic in the circle, and proceed when safe. Exit by signaling right and staying in the left or inside lane. To drive halfway around, you may also enter from the right or outside lane. Though this method is not preferred, it is permitted. Signal left, yield to pedestrians and traffic in the circle, and proceed when safe. Be sure to yield to traffic in the inside lane and exit by signaling right and staying in the right or outside lane. For 3/4 of the way around, it's unsafe to enter or proceed around the circle from the right or outside lane. Another mistake is to change lanes in the traffic circle. When you enter from the left or inside lane, do not change lanes in the circle and exit in the right or outside lane. This may result in cutting other vehicles off or causing a collision. For 3/4 of the way around, the correct approach is to enter from the left or inside lane. Signal left, yield to pedestrians and traffic in the circle, and then proceed when safe. Exit by signaling right and staying in the left or inside lane.
Well, that was almost like working a video game. So you see some of the rudimentary moves when you're in a roundabout. And they also mentioned that you're supposed to use a turning signal, which I never have heard of, and I would find out about that because that gets really strange if you're going from right to left blinker, so to speak. So that's basically how to get through safely a roundabout. And we'll have the two of them, one on Blag and the other one on Plum Valley Boulevard. Now, I also found out on the internet, there was a newscast from a TV station on the East Coast, I believe it's New York, about some of the issues, some of the troubles they had with their roundabouts. So not to be a naysayer, but these are some of the issues that may pop up when we have our roundabouts. So let's play that tape.
Also tonight, no one investigates like News 4. We began investigating accidents at this roundabout in Hamburg when there was a fatal crash there last year. Tonight, our investigation is expanding. Are roundabouts creating more harm than good? News 4's Luke Moretti is here now with his special assignment. Luke?
Yeah, Jackie, we wanted to see how drivers handle roundabouts. We picked a couple of locations, one here in the town of Hamburg, the one behind me, and so many signs, so little time.
So confusing.
We're talking about roundabouts designed to keep traffic moving at low speeds. But
I was in the circle and he hit me.
a year-long News 4 investigation has discovered that some of these circular intersections have actually experienced more accidents after they were installed.
We're coming this way, and he's yelling at me. I'm like, I don't have a yield. You have a yield.
We began looking at this roundabout at Big Tree in South Park in the town of Hamburg after Kenneth Braun's fatal accident about a year ago. According to the State Department of Transportation, 11 accidents happened at the Hamburg intersection during the year before the roundabout was installed. But look at this. The number of accidents jumps to 19 in the year after the roundabout became operational.
So we have to yield to see what other traffic is actually in the circle. In this case, I actually have to come to a stop.
Is this a case of some people just not familiar with the rules of the roundabout?
I'm in the circle, and she was supposed to yield.
Let's take a look. On this day, our cameras documented a man riding a bicycle through the middle instead of using the lanes. He then rides back through across the middle into oncoming traffic. Here's a motorist driving across the center of the roundabout instead of using the lane. Here's a driver signaling to go left but actually goes right. And we found some drivers navigating the roundabout while talking on a cell phone.
It is somewhat confusing to people who aren't used to them.
Joe Rosinski of the Erie County Sheriff's Office watches traffic at this roundabout on Grand Island. He says the key here is to yield the right-of-way to vehicles already in the circle and pedestrians in the crosswalk.
We were standing here waiting to cross the street. Were you going to stop and yield the right-of-way to us?
I would hope so, yeah.
Were you going to, though?
Yes.
And it's not only problems with pedestrians here on Grand Island. Our cameras documented motorists turning right and then cutting back into the circle, making a U-turn to get back in the circle. And here's a driver honking the horn at pedestrians, only to be flipped off, not just once, but twice. And then there are the roundabout signs, lots of signs, so many choices with little time to decide.
Studies have shown that the more signs that you put up, the less that people pay attention to them.
There's the onus on the driver, too, to be aware of their surroundings and pay attention to those signs and pay attention to the driving that they're doing.
So you don't think there's too much signage over there at that Grand Island site?
I don't believe that there's too much signing, and there's also signing that's required with roundabouts.
So how does the Grand Island roundabout stack up when it comes to accidents? According to the state DOT, there were 3 accidents during the year before the roundabout was installed and 6 in the year after it became operational.
You can't be happy with that, right?
Even though there may be an increase in the number of accidents, the trend is that the accidents are less severe because of the way a modern roundabout operates versus a traditional intersection.
So those are the do's and the don'ts of roundabout maneuvering. Kind of like the part with the girls flipping the guys off. So hopefully that's the worst thing that happens with the roundabouts. I've always mentioned that we should put up bleachers in front of Seymour's over on Blag when we first open up the roundabout, so we could be entertained to see how they work out. But anyway, so that's it in a nutshell. So that's happening. Construction's starting this coming week, and they're here, folks. Now remember that one more day for the Ram. See you there in the morning. Thank you.
Community Viewpoint.